All right, y'all, we're back for our next segment with the one and only Aztec Soul Brother, and we know that you are having an amazing time of engagement right now.
I appreciate you, brother.
Man, this is crazy. Where we left off
Oh yeah, man.
with the history you just gave of your own personal history, your own uh, um experiences, man. I was like, who better than to kind of break down for us this nuance, this black and brown tension when
Yeah.
it comes to gangs and uh, the initiations they were doing. You know, black versus brown, and man, this is a whole thing we trying to. All right, let's say in the Midwest here in Omaha, this is probably, man, like the last 20 years. Well, within the last 5 years in Omaha, Nebraska, and then in the state of Nebraska, there are more Hispanics than there are blacks now.
Oh yeah. They coming, man.
Yeah, there are more Hispanics than blacks now. So, as far as blacks, there are more of them than us. And so, in these areas where we live, that are the most affordable, in the metro, we bumping into each other now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we living together. We up on each other now.
Yeah.
In a new, this dynamic is new in these numbers.
Yeah. It's kind of a beautiful thing though for the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
part.
yeah. Like, talk to us about it. Like,
Cause you get the intermingling of cultures, like multiple cultures that normally wouldn't be around each other. Cause I've seen large Asian populations in North Omaha now as well, in entire
yeah,
neighborhoods.
the Burmese.
Yeah.
Like,
Which
deep.
is cool though, cause my wife, she's Korean, so
Okay.
I'm half black, half Mexican, so it becomes more of a melting pot. Unfortunately, when it relates to like the gang and the drug scene, it is always going to create conflict, but that's going to be regardless of who is going to be moving in. Anybody that comes into a different area and they're attempting to take over that area in a hostile act is going to run into, of course, hostile resistance. You can be black, you can be Chicano, you can be Asian, you can be white. The unfortunate downfall is that once you get into the conflict, a lot of people like to use the low blows, the race aspect of it all, to make it seem like that's the premise of what the issue is, when in reality that's not. Like, you're just using that to justify your hatred and your anger, or you're using that to justify what you're attempting to do for your organization, whatever that organization may be. But when you get down to the root of it all, it's not the people. Like, it's not the everyday common Latino, Hispanic, or everyday common black man or Asian or white man. We still have our civil skirmishes and like debates and things of that nature, but it's not to the point where we want to start a complete genocide, and that's the premise of how you get initiated into a gang or organization, things like that. I feel like that was just all morally blown up by the media, but also it was blown up by the gang members who were actually doing it. Because, of course, the loud minority is always going to be the one that outshines the silent majority.
Gotcha.
If everyone else is just being dormant and not standing up. What we got to do as a people is just start understanding the differences are not as different as we think. Like, you live in the same neighborhood that I live in. You go to the same store. You go to the same schools. You shop at the same, like, mall, everything. We do everything exactly the same. The only thing that's different is your dialect.
Right.
You speak slightly different from me. But your kids, the youth, is what's going to change it all. When you start to see these young Latino kids, these young African kids, these young refugee kids that come from different countries throughout the world, they all attach themselves to African American culture, hip hop, the clothing, the way we act, the way we move, the way we dress. It makes it easier for people to start accepting one another because you like it. It's like, I like them. Once you like somebody, it makes it easier to get past the things that you don't like.
Right.
Like, people will dislike Donald Trump. Like, I'm not a Trump supporter at all. But people will literally hate everything about Donald Trump. But the one thing that they might like about him, they'll look past everything else that they don't like about him. Like, hey, Trump did all this bad stuff. He was this, that, and the third. Hey, but he gave us them checks, though.
Right.
He hit us off with that bread, though. We was making money when he was in office. They'll come with all these different things about something that they like as opposed to anything that they don't like, which is really has to be the trickle-down process for the people. Like, you have to figure out more of what you have in common as opposed to still fighting over what you feel like you don't have in common.
Right.
Because once you get past that, you're going to realize, like, damn, we relate to each other more than I thought.
Right.
Like, I actually love your people. Like, who don't love Mexican food? Who don't love soul food?
Right.
Who don't love barbecue? Who
Right.
don't love Asian food?
Right.
We all love each other's culture. It's
Right.
just there's certain parts of people who just are unhappy in life. So they got to create these scenarios. And then, of course, you got the media or you got certain racial groups that amplify these scenarios to make it seem like that's actually what's going on. Like, in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth. They don't say 1% of the population has the money for no reason. It's all a ploy.
Right.
I gotta make you fight each other in order for me to maintain the resources. Hell, that's life.
Man, you know what would be cool though? When you just said that,
Yeah.
like we do little thing. We have stuff out here where we doing barbecue and bounce houses and all this stuff for the kids and all
Right.
that, right? Well, we saying it publicly, so we'll see if where this go. We may not be able to put our finger on it for somebody else does, but it'd be cool, man, to have like what you just said, like the African Americans, the Chicanos, the Africans, or African immigrants, right?
Yeah.
The Asians, the Burmese, whatever, and do a big old like cookout kind of cultural exchange thing.
Yeah, because we do everything. Like, you got your Cinco de Mayos, and we all come to kind of hang out, and we
Right.
mix. And then you got your Omaha days.
Right.
And then you got to have, like, your native powwow pride days and things like that, and
Yeah.
couple things. But we should just have one big, giant, ethnic.
And we should do a small one though, at least to get started.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody's DJ. Everybody had their own music, and you take turns,
Right.
play your hits.
Because a lot of artists got great songs throughout the city that are all different races and
Right.
ethnicities. Like, I know artists like T. Joe. He's from Bellevue. He's a Chicano. But
Yeah.
he make rap music. He cold.
Right.
And then we got other music. I got a homegirl that's from the South. She make country music, but she a black woman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we got to also dip and dabble
For
into
real.
each other's.
Like, what's a Sudanese hit? Well, I don't know.
But it might be a slapper.
You never, but
You gotta
whatever it
combine it.
is, yeah, like y'all play y'all hit. Then the Burmese play one of their hits.
And then that's how you start the melting pot
That's
now,
what I'm
because
saying.
you hear the different hits, and it's like, all right, now I want to collab. I want to take something from my hit. We take something from your hit. Now let's make a different hit. Let's make
Right.
it bang. It's like reggaeton. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
It's pretty much an extension of hip hop. They never had reggaeton back in like the 80s
When
in the
you
islands.
go have this event?
I ain't got the dollars behind it, but if somebody
Yeah,
come up
you
with it,
got a venue right here for free.
hey
Like,
man, we'll shout. Hey, I'll shout it out. That's all I can pretty much do. I gas it
you
up.
know everybody. Like you gotta
Hey,
pull everybody together.
I'll bring
like,
y'all in. I'll bring them in. But we get something set up. We can
should
most
do.
definitely make it
Hey,
happen.
for real. Like we should do something like that.
I like it. I like the idea of it all. And then we all got to actually kind of champion each other as well.
No, for real.
That's the thing.
Like for real. Like everybody bring their grills and keep it real organic. Keep it real family. Keep it backyard. Like
Big
set
melting
up.
pot.
We got all this land. Like set up.
Big old
and we
melting
just
pot.
move through.
We getting there. I like the ideology of it all. Now it's just trying to put the wheels in motion. It's like, all right, come out and show love.
Yeah,
That's the
for
thing.
real.
People be afraid to show love. They always think there's something else, malice behind it. It's like, oh,
Right.
what are you trying to take away from this? Like, why do you want to show me some love for free? Like, what's the deeper motive? And it's like, nah, that's what we need to do. We need
For
to
real.
stop being so afraid of one another and start being more accepting.
For real.
That event more than likely gonna do it for us, though.
No, that would be cool. Start it small. Let it do whatever it's gonna do.
Yeah.
But have our native brothers and sisters, man, that like that. Oh, that'd be
I like it. I like the ideology of it all.
great. And I like to eat. So
Yeah,
that's probably
yeah,
why
yeah.
I'm on this right now. Like, no, what's the date? When we gonna do this next year? Like,
Right.
2023. Let's set
Well, they
the
got
date.
that. They gotta be having what is that? The Taste of North Omaha. Gotta expand on that,
Yeah.
because that's already a small event in itself, but it's starting to grow. It's kind of like, hey,
And they're having separate ones now. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's like, instead of just saying the Taste of North Omaha, let's just make sure that like everybody that is from North Omaha is included, not
All
just
right, but
the
then you got
brothers.
the politics of that though.
Yeah,
Like they were shutting people down for not having the right licenses,
true.
not having the right equipment, not having the permits.
See, that's the problem when you had too many people wanting to do their own thing. You gotta consolidate it into one major thing, or at least
Or
one.
have private property.
There you go.
In the end, you exempt from all that.
True. But it's always good to kind of have like the support of the majority. of the city, our European brothers and sisters. Not saying that you want or really need it, but if you get it, it's always helpful. It's an ally. It's like we all in this together.
Right.
Like we were saying earlier, y'all came from something. Like you had to build this.
Right.
Like you didn't just come up and just become royalty. Like no. You came out the mud just like the rest of us.
Right.
So it's like I can't be mad at y'all because y'all came on top. But what we can ask you to do is like, hey, just be a little bit more supportive. Or if you're not gonna be supportive, you can kind of just stay out the way and let us get our thing off.
No, that's a big thing though, is not be obstructionist.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of the problem. And I'll say this, I can say this, you know, at least I can say this because I'm black, you know.
Right.
One thing that I have experienced and do experience on the ongoing is the obstructionism.
Yeah.
I was just sent a big article today. They went deeper into that real estate company held by Berkshire that just got sued for that $24 million for the discriminatory lending practices. So what it is, there's a regulating authority, extension of the government that can come in and say, we need all of your emails. And they took all the emails from a lot of these mortgage companies and they uncovered all of this discrimination, saying basically in these certain communities, you know, ghetto hood niggas, this and that, like holding Confederate flags. I'm talking about the lending agents, a lot of employees.
Yeah.
And basically saying how they weren't going to lend in these neighborhoods and to these people because of colorism. Like straight up, I just got that article today. It was a long one. So 2 parts, I was reading through it. They're talking about the different sanctions and the things that are going to happen. It's that kind of thing.
That's the most funny thing to me because you don't want to lend to people that's been here for hundreds of years and that actually has been the backbone and the rib of your country. But unknowingly to y'all, you keep having all this vacant land and it's up for sale. You're gonna end up losing it all to China.
It's
Somebody
happening.
gonna buy all your land off, and eventually the people that you try to keep it away from ain't gonna be the ones you need to worry about.
It was just happening in Detroit.
Exactly. Like I think that's happening in Texas as well.
Yeah, the Dutch, the China. I think the Dutch were the major ones. They had to do some emergency motions and things on the city level to block those international sales because the homes were going for like from $150 to $500. Now we go to Detroit kind of often. You can be in Detroit and go down the street and see a dead Rottweiler in the street, swole up.
Yeah,
you know, all week,
entire
the whole week
block
you there,
boarded up.
Oh, and then one person living in a house,
Houses
and then the rest of
overgrown.
them, hey, Detroit, man.
Like I said, that's the thing I never understood. Is like, why do you put so much time and effort and money into oppressing and keeping people down when it potentially could be cheaper for you to allow those people to flourish? You could benefit from that. The country benefits from that. You see what our culture does as it is anyway.
It's not a total monetary situation, or that would be the case.
Yeah.
Because of how expensive it is to have the prison industrial complex we have.
Free slavery, that's all that really much is.
100%.
Is hey, we give you the Emancipation Proclamation. We're going to hit you with the 13th Amendment right after that.
100%.
Like, I'm going to get you to work for me for free somehow, some way. Like, I'm getting my money off you. I brought you over here.
Yeah.
I'm bringing all these other people over here. I'm going to get this paper off.
Right.
You. That's why they say that they building this wall and they don't want all these immigrants to come in. But where do you think they storing them all at? In these facilities.
Right.
All these people get paid to have people in the facilities. It don't matter who's in it. We just need a head on the bed.
Man, do you know they working? And you're studied. The companies that have programs in these prisons. I'm talking about Hewlett Packard, IBM.
You be a fire. Majority of the firefighters from California that's putting the fires out are prison inmates.
See,
majority of the people who do telecommunications technical support for like your Verizon phone companies. I'm not gonna say Verizon in general, not the best, but it's like companies in general are prison inmates. They working in the cell.
And when they get out, they go try to apply at these same companies.
Can't get nothing.
And can't get hired.
They got work history. They got literally what you call rehabilitated work history. They paid the debt to society, and on top of that, society doesn't want them back. We rather you do
not
it
at a
for
fair
cheap.
price.
Not at a fair price. It makes it more sense because think about it. And I think the state of Nebraska is building, or if not, has already started building more prisons.
Right.
And we just had 600 teachers quit.
Right.
That tells you exactly the climate of where they want you to go. We don't want you to be educated. We want you to be dumb. We want you to commit a crime. We want you to go to jail. That's why they take away Roe v. Wade.
Absolutely.
We want more kids out here to be disenfranchised and create issues. That way I can put you in a cell because I'm building these new prisons and I'm tearing down your schools.
It's called the Dr. Amos Wilson called it the expansion and contraction of education.
Mm-hmm.
And that the less qualified you know you are, the less civil disobedience there will be because you know you don't qualify.
Absolutely.
And so your expectations are less. And so that you demand less. You know, you get to the point you just want to survive. You just want to have dignity and survival.
Right. And
Much less progress or more or much. So, yeah, hey, us black, brown, melanated, Asian, native, we're going to have to figure out how to coexist peacefully.
right. And on top of that, our European brothers are going to have to start understanding that they are starting to separate themselves from the entire world. Like you starting to alienate yourselves and you don't have as much power as you once used to. China is the second biggest superpower in the entire world. None of them are European.
This is what we deal with.
It's all
This is
good.
24th.
It's real. This is real.
This is 24th
it.
Street studio. We
This
on
is real.
24th.
But yeah, like the second superpower in the world now is a completely different race.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they outnumber you
Yeah.
3-1, if not
Yeah.
4-1.
Yeah.
And yet you still continue to try to put the people that you are needing to support down. It's not going to be beneficial to you in the long run. I don't care if you get rid of Roe v. Wade, you start having fucking 10,
Yeah.
15 more motherfucking
Yeah.
kids. Like, it's not going to add up in the long run
Right.
when there's billions on the other
Yeah.
side.
There's no catching up.
You can't equate hundreds of millions to billions. You
No.
put that in Turkey. You talk about money.
Right.
Hey, you want $100 million or you want $100 billion?
Right. Before or after taxes.
Exactly. I'm like,
We saw what
even
happened with- we
even
saw what-
before or after
We
taxes.
saw what just happened with the $1 billion lottery.
Oh, yeah.
They got the 400 and the government got the 700 something.
Oh, you got to expect that, though. That's government. That's free money anyhow.
100%.
Yeah, you can't be complaining about them taking that money. They give you that money to be quiet. And you're going to spend it all anyhow and lose it. So it's like, psh, I'll take the 300.
I don't know why, man, that infuriated me. You know, just
It shouldn't have. That's not real money. I mean, it's real
No,
money.
I get it.
But it's
I
not
get
like,
it.
it ain't like money that you worked and
when
earned
do
for and you
stop
paid it in
caring
taxes.
about the optics, though? Like, I was telling somebody else the other day, I said, listen, you know, government, you're supposed to be the people's representative. Now, we know it's not, right?
Nah.
It's supposed to be the people's representation of the sentiments of the people. With this much angst, frustration, anger, and it's a pot boiling,
Mm-hmm.
right? About to boil over with just the temperature of the average American person in this country. We're seeing it play out in road rage incidents, shootings. I saw a clip today where 2 white kids were skateboarding on this sidewalk. Looked like an apartment complex or a building complex.
Yeah.
Old boy jumped up, slides down, or he hits the rail on the stairs, right? Few little stairs, comes down, skateboard goes this way. There was an older white guy getting out of his car. When he was walking toward the sidewalk, the board went away from him. He pulls a gun out, a pistol like this,
Man.
up in the air, come on, up with it, holding it like this close as I am to you, to the dude, talking about, y'all get out of here. I told y'all don't skate here. Some. And the other dude sitting on the ground like, can you believe he pulled a gun out?
That's
he
crazy.
has a gun out. Like,
And yet they want more people to have those.
man.
That's the thing that don't make sense.
Just listen, hey.
I think they love it though, because through trauma, through turmoil, and through controversy,
Right.
you eventually on the other side get everything that you need and more.
Sure.
Because you think about history, anytime you go through something traumatic, the other end of that is something wonderful. Big dollars
All the
for the
time.
country. You have
All
a
the
war.
time.
You got World War I, World War II. After that, boom, we booming.
All
we
the
have a
time.
depression and now we booming. Even black people back then. That's
Yeah.
why they had to do the Tulsa.
Right.
What was that? Black
Yeah,
Wall Street.
Greenwood, Oklahoma. Yep.
That's why they had to do that there, because
Yeah.
everybody was flourishing.
Yeah.
Like everybody was eating. They
Yeah.
saw like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
these people can actually
It's like
sustain things
damn
without them.
Rosewood. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like we can get back to that. It's just you got to put your petty issues aside
Yeah.
as
yeah.
a people.
Yeah.
Like, because this is America. Like people don't like to be proud. Like you were saying earlier, it's bad to be proud to be an American when that used to be the coolest shit in the world.
Yeah, man.
We used to be proud of that. We rub it in your face.
Yeah.
I'm American, American flag.
Hey, we were made fun of
See what I'm
because
saying?
of the social unrest, the economy. They're like, what are y'all doing?
Like, we gonna bounce back.
Hey, which bring me back, like that's when you understand the governmental structure is imploding. It's so degraded now, it's imploding. Because if we this unhappy and y'all say y'all represent us, that don't bother you? It don't bother you that we go to sleep to bullets
No,
all over. I'm talking about suburbs. Nobody's exempt.
it don't bother because bullets.
It's going
them bullets
everywhere.
got money
You know what I'm
behind them.
saying? Yeah. This is everywhere we going off. And y'all sitting in Washington saying y'all represent us. But you're not bothered
No, because
that your whole country is on the decline.
the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, actually has stocks in
Yeah, man.
military companies,
Yeah.
which make the ammunition that these people are killing themselves in the street. They capitalize off of this.
No, absolutely.
I need that. It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Like, we want to get you guys to fight each other as much as possible in order to accumulate as much resources for ourselves as we can. That's literally all life is. Because when it comes down to it, what you really want to do, you want to accumulate resources for you and yours.
Right.
Now, if it comes down to the point where there's not enough resources and there's too many people, it's like, I'm going to do what I can to get rid of them because it's me and mine. Fuck them.
Hey, now you bringing up the whole pandemic situation.
Right.
Hey, man. Hey, you in there?
That's what it really is. That's why they like the
Population
conflict.
control, man. Looking at resources and population control versus natural resources.
Absolutely.
It's some. Hey,
If I can get you to feel like you have nothing when I give you a little something, it's going to feel like the world to you. You felt like you had nothing before civil rights. You lost all your civil rights leaders. You lost all your husbands. We put your husbands in jail that wanted to be revolutionaries. Your sons that wanted to be gang members after that, we put them in jail. The ones who didn't want to go to college, we made them go to Vietnam.
true.
Like, we get rid of you. And then
True.
the ones who don't want to conform, you just asked out. Everybody else who does conform, we'll give you a little bit of a little bit. That's called civil rights. It's called Affordable Care Acts. It's called equal opportunity
Yeah.
living.
Yeah.
What is it? Equal opportunity employing.
Right.
No child left behind.
Yeah.
We give you the small bits of what you feel like you think that you deserve because you ain't haven't had shit for so long.
Yeah.
If you ain't eating, a crumb is gonna taste
For
delicious
real,
to
you
you.
taste everything in it.
You take a piece of a scoop of sour cream. If you've been in
Right.
the desert for a year, it's gonna
Right.
be the most magical thing in the world.
Right.
That's all it is, and I don't have to give up too much of my resources.
Man, part 3 coming in just a minute. I want to get a little personal with you in this next one.
Oh, for sure.
I want to talk about the reason why I had to have this sit down with you. And again, I appreciate you taking time out to be here.
Absolutely.
This next one, man, you kind of you went off on us. You went off on everybody, and I was like, we got to talk because you said some heavy stuff,
Yeah.
like you saying now. You know, the city got to hear it, man. The people who follow you, listen to you, man, they got to hear it. They got to hear it. So let's talk about it right after this quick one.
For sure.
We be right back after these.